Hi, how are you? Hope you're well. So, I am back. Of course, the lorry's here beeping away. I'm not gonna wait though. So enjoy the background music, I guess. I'm continuing on reading the Powerless series in this video. Obviously, hopefully, by now you've watched the original video where I read Powerless and see if I like it or not because it's exploding everywhere and no one would shut up about it. I'm not going to spoil that video for you. If you haven't watched it yet, go do that. But I liked it enough to continue the series, so spoilers, I guess. I'm going to be putting Powerful, the novella that comes out in April, and then the sequel that comes out in June, I believe, together just to make it easy, because the novella is very, very short, and I think making a video for that by itself would kind of just be a waste of time. So I'm going to be doing both. Let's fast forward to when I have Powerful. So I have it. I'm on page 80. No, I'm on page 80 right now, which is like 30% through the book. It's only 220 pages. And so far, it's interesting enough. I'm having like one gripe with this book so far, and that's the fact that I find Adina kind of insufferable. Listen, okay? I love a good quirky girl. We all love a good quirky girl. Not this quirky though. My goodness. Her character feels very forced to me, and I don't like that. Like, Adina's supposed to be like this very happy-go-lucky character that's always like smiling and just a bright ray of sunshine. Like, she is a golden retriever, and I love a good golden retriever character, okay? I love a black cat, I love a golden retriever, I love a Doberman, I love them all. I like golden retriever characters. She feels forced though. She's a golden retriever because she literally smiles all of the time, like just every day, all day. It's too much, and it feels like every time there's dialogue, it's I smile, she smiles, I smile, she smiles, I smile, she smiles. You get it. It's a lot, and it's just so annoying, and I wish that she was just written a bit differently, because I feel like smiling all the time and being quirky doesn't make you a golden retriever. You know what I mean? And that kind of annoys me a little bit. I don't mind the fact that she's a golden retriever. Once again, love a golden retriever. I don't mind the fact that she's quirky. I love Allie Hazelwood. Trust me, I like quirky girls. She just, I don't know, like, it feels forced, you know? So that's the one gripe that I'm kind of having with this book. I wish that her quirkiness and her sunshininess was a bit more natural. That's a good way to describe it, actually. It feels like her saturation is put way too high, and it's just a bit frustrating because it like hurts a little bit, you know? I just wish that her quirkiness was a bit more natural and that she felt more like a real person. Like, she feels like a character in a book. She doesn't feel like a real person, and I think that's the gripe that I have with it. But overall, I am enjoying this so far. At the end of the day, this is a novella. Novellas tend to kind of just be meh for me. That is not the author's fault at all. I don't know how many novellas I've read, but I know they've never been outstanding to me. I do feel like the romance in this is kind of going a bit quickly, but once again, that's also because this is a novella. There's 220 pages. Of course, it's gonna go quickly. So all of that, like, I'm not gonna count against this book because it's just what it is type of thing. I know for a fact I haven't said it yet, so I am 42% into Powerful, just by the way. That's kind of where I'm at. I do enjoy it. I know I just complained a lot, but I do enjoy this book so far. It is a fun book. It's very much like Powerless in the sense where it's dual POV. One thing that this book has that Powerless didn't have, which I am so excited for, and I really hope the rest of the series has these, is a list of the abilities. So I don't know if you can see, but it has a list of all the abilities, how they're classified, and I think what they do. Let me check. Yeah, so a list of how they are ranked, the names, and then what they do. So for example, mundanes, there's an amplifier, which is voice projection, and then there's 100. So I'm guessing that's how many people have this power. So yeah, I'm happy about that because when I was reading Powerless, I felt really lost in that sense. And overall, this is fun. This is a great little middle of the round book, and despite the fact that I find her kind of annoying, it's fun being in Adina's perspective. It's fun to see what she's been doing whilst Peyton is in the trials. I'm very nervous for the ending. I'm going to assume that you've read Powerless if you're watching this, and also this, because this is going to be spoilers. You can't talk about sequels without spoiling the first book. So it's going to be kind of painful having to watch her die again. There's still a part of me that's kind of like holding out, hoping that she doesn't die, but I don't think that's the case, you know? I really don't. So we'll see. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe this book will have a plot twist. I don't know. We will have to see. But I'm enjoying my time with it, and I'm excited to finish this and then get into Reckless once it's published. So I'll be back once I'm done. Hi. I was editing this video and I realized I never gave my review for Powerful. Like, I completely forgot to film it. So I'm going to do that now. I'll be very honest. I read this when it came out, so it's been a while because I had to wait for Reckless to come out as well. So I don't fully remember my thoughts that well, but I do remember that I did give this novella 4 stars, which I don't usually rate novellas unless they're highly rated, and then I'll give them a star rating. But for the most part, non-fictions and novellas and short stories, I don't really give ratings. I just say if I was gonna rate this, I would give it because I don't feel like it's fully fair. And I do remember that this book hurt a lot, and I cried a lot. Obviously, we've all read Powerless by now, and we know that Adina dies at the end of that. And then reading this book in her POV and seeing her romance with Mock develop and then her dying, it hurts so badly, and it makes me very, very sad and upset. I swear I've spoken about this to a camera. I don't know where that clip went. This is so weird. And honestly, this one's kind of on me, but I was really, really holding out that maybe possibly she didn't actually die and something happened after Peyton like left. No, Adina's gone, and that made it hurt even more because I convinced myself that she was not going to die at the end of this book again, and that she would get a happy ending and run away with Mock. Nope. Yeah, it sucked, it hurt, and I didn't like it, but it was good. I do have to say, I did find Adina's sunshininess a bit forced and a bit annoying, but overall she's a very lovable character, and watching her go was incredibly sad. I didn't want to. And then I really, really liked Mock. I really want him to have a happy ending, and when I wrote this, I said I really hope he gets his own story arc outside of this novella, which at this point I've already read Reckless. Like I said, I'm editing the video now, so I know he's not in Reckless, but I do still hope he comes back for the second novella, or maybe in Fearless. I don't know, I really liked him as a character, and I really hope that we see more of him and he's not just in this terribly depressing novella and his story just ends with losing literally everybody he loves, because that would be terrible. That being said though, with his powers and everything, I really feel like he's gonna have a bigger role. I really do. And I really hope that he gets a happy ending of some kind at some point, even if it's not with Adina, because he truly, truly does deserve it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. This book was really sad, and I hope Mock finds happiness. I thought someone was at my door. That was terrifying. Hi, so it's time to continue the series and read Reckless. So I'm actually still about a week-ish away from reading Reckless. It has not arrived to me yet, and I actually did start a different book today because I don't want to wait 5-6 more days for it to get to me. So I won't be starting it right now, but I did want to just check in and talk about like how I'm feeling going into this. Right now, I'll be very honest, I'm not as excited for Reckless as I would have liked to be. However, I am still excited. It's just been quite a while since I read Powerless and Powerful, and a lot of the books that I've been reading lately has felt a bit more like a to-do list that I have to get checked off. And because of that, like, reading just hasn't been exciting for me the past couple of weeks. So that like largely feeds into it, but I'm mood reading right now. I'm picking up a book that I want to read. I'm very excited for it. So hopefully by the time that I actually start Reckless next week, it will be in higher, better spirits. I'm very excited to get back into the Powerless world though. I'm excited to see Peyton. I'm excited to see Kai. I'm really hoping we see some of Mock. I need to know what happens and how the story continues and where it's gonna go, and I'm excited for the journey to continue. And even just like this little bit of talking to you about it right now has like really upped my spirits for it. So I'm still very positive and excited, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes, how it goes, and I'm ready to get it. Like, this has hyped me up. Talking to you about it, this has hyped me up, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm very excited, and I want to know. So things are looking up, and I can't wait. Hi, so I've finished Reckless. I did film clips of me talking about it whilst I was reading it, but they ended up just not coming out well, and I'm not going to get into it, but I'm going to give you a quick summary of what happens in the book, and then I'm going to go into my review. So basically, we know how Powerless ends. It ends with her running away after she killed the king, and Kai's like, I'll find you and kill you. She runs away to Door. He finds her, kind of back and forth between her escaping, him finding her, dragging her back, her escaping, him finding her, dragging her back. In the meantime, we do see a couple of the resistance members when they saved her from him, and find out that in this book there are also now mixes who are children of ordinary elite couples, and they have like half powers, and then a dude like kidnaps her to like have her bounty, and then they escape. During all of this, they like have like this hate-love thing going, but I'm going to get into that. And then they finally like confess their love for each other, and he's about to let her go when the Imperials see him and her, and then they take them to the palace to Kit, and she's like, oh, I'm going to die. This is how I die. This is how he kills me. But then her punishment from Kit is him asking her to marry him. And Kai's kind of just standing there like, what? Doesn't say anything. Like, do go get your girl. What are you doing? So it's kind of, it's a whole thing. The ending was quite insane. I was kind of speechless a little bit. I had to like get out of bed after I read that and just stand there for a second to like process. But that's basically what happens in this book. And my review is going to be long. I wrote so much because of how I feel about this book. So bear with me. Genuinely, I don't know if I've ever felt this confused about a book ever in my life, and I have so many thoughts about how I feel about it. So first and foremost, this book was very easy to slip into. I remember with Powerless, I really struggled to get into it, and it took me so long to read the first half until I just decided stop being difficult. I did not have this issue at all. Getting into it, it was so easy. I wanted to keep picking it up. It was really very simple to slip into. But then at the 150 page mark, it starts to get so repetitive and boring, and genuinely it felt like Kai finds Peyton, they fight, he captures her, she tries to escape, they nearly die, they make out, and then they do that 3 more times. And I'm not exaggerating, that was genuinely the plot for 200 pages. And it drove me insane. I felt very bored and disappointed, and I truly considered even just like returning the book and DNFing it and like just calling it a day. But then I persevered, and those last 50 pages came around where they finally like confessed their love for each other, and then the Imperials found them and the whole thing with Kit, and I was floored. And right as I was finishing it and everything, I saw that she announced book 3, Fearless, and it's just very exciting and I can't wait to continue it and find out how the story is going to continue progressing. It also comes out in my birthday month, which is very fun. I think if this book had been cut down to the first 200 pages and then the last 50 to 75 pages, it would have easily been a 4-star book for me. But the 200-page drought of repetitiveness truly took me out. I truly thought at some points that there was absolutely no way that this book could be above a 2.75 star rating because of just how boring and dull it is. And the thing is, I know that the author mentioned that this was a slower book because of everything that's going to happen in Fearless. But a slow book is not an excuse for a boring book, you know? And it's also, a slow book is also not an excuse to have the same plot point repeated 3 to 4 times and just saying that's the story. Like, no, that's not how it works. And I felt very, very disappointed by that because I've read many slower fantasies and cozy fantasies. You know, like Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune is a 5-star read for me, and the entire book takes place inside a tea shop. Like, he can't leave the tea shop. They're just in the tea shop. But it was still very interesting and everything. So it felt very disappointing and there was no excuse for it. Like, there's no like, oh, I can understand this or that. Like, no, because it shouldn't have been that way. Again, the entire middle 200 pages is Kai finds Peyton, they fight, he captures her, she tries to escape, they nearly die, they make out. That is all that happens 3-4 times for 200 pages, just in different geographical locations. It's dull. And then, on top of all of that, I didn't find the characters' passion for each other believable at all. When they meet up for the first time again, both Peyton and Kai say that they hate each other, but it doesn't feel believable in the slightest. If you take Oria's hate for Rain in The Serpent in the Wings of Night / The Ashes in the Star-Cursed King, that feels believable. That feels like she hates him. If you look at Jude and Carden's hate for each other in The Cruel Prince, that feels believable. That feels like they actually hate each other. Kai and Peyton did not. Like, there are many books where it's like, well, they can't kill the love interest, but they need to hate them. But it's like, oh, they would if they could. But in this situation, literally right after seeing each other, finding out he killed her father, he saw her kill his, and it's just like, ooh, I want to stab him, but he's still sexy. And it's like, that doesn't feel believable. It doesn't feel like you hate him. It feels like you're just kind of annoyed and being irrational. Like, that's how it felt. And honestly, it kind of felt the same as it did in the first book, where there is so much tension that purely existed because the author said there will be tension, rather than there being actual true tension between the characters. And that's a problem for me. Yes, the author wrote a lot of good lines that I underlined, but that's all that they are. They're good lines. They mean nothing if it doesn't feel authentic to the characters, and I want my characters to feel real, not like puppets for the author to deliver good lines that she thought of. And that's what it felt like to me. There were just a lot of problems with this book where I went into it wanting to like it. I gave it the same benefit of the doubt that I gave Powerless, and I was just disappointed through and through, which is why I can't give this book more than a 2.75 star rating. I really, really wanted to give it 4 stars. I really wanted to love the series, but book 2 is a disappointment. And the characters don't feel authentic, they don't feel real. Everything that they say and do, it feels like watching a puppet show, and you can see the strings. That's truly just what it feels like, and I'm very sad about that. However, as I said, the ending of Reckless was quite crazy, with Kit wanting to marry Peyton for some odd reason. And I'm going to read book 3. I want to find out how it ends. I'm curious. I'm invested at this point, despite the fact that I didn't really like it. I am excited to read Fearless once it comes out and see how this all ties up and ties together. However, overall, I'm disappointed and sad, and as excited as I am for Fearless, I am also scared because I don't know if Fearless goes the way that this goes. I don't know if I can pick up this author's work again, and it's quite a shame because I really wanted to like it and I wanted to love it as much as everyone else does, and there are problems that I can see through, especially with new authors, which she's young, she's new. Like, I can look through certain things, but there are other things that I can't, and this book, simply I couldn't look past them. So yeah, I'm assuming you've read this series if you're watching this, since it's spoilers, but what did you think of Reckless? Did you find any of the issues that I did, or are you team 5-star? Let me know, I'd love to find out. If you like me or my videos, I would really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. If you feel like it, please don't hate me for not liking this book. I wanted to, I really, really did. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.